Welcome to this week's Down Home with Tina. I'm your host, Tina Thompson. I have got the chiefs, two of them in our community in the city of Lancaster, who is retiring within the month of each other. They have both been doing and at their careers, fire chief and police chief, for over 32 years. It's just an amazing opportunity, I feel, to get to have them. And I even asked them, I said, so is this the first time that we've had two chiefs retire about the same time, within a month's time anyways? And they were like, yeah, I think so. So I know they do have some great folks that are stepping up into their positions. However, we're going to find out a little bit about their story, about why they decided to be what they have become, fire chief, police chief, and then we'll find out some more of what they have happening and what they are maybe looking to do in their retirement. So stick around to see our retirement celebration show right here on Down Home with Tina.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference.
We were retiring from Tucson, Arizona, and we made a retirement trip out around Ohio, having decided that's where we wanted to be. And we came across this town called Lancaster, and we fell in love with the downtown area, where the fountain is, and the memorials, and the flags, and all this stuff. And we looked around, and I said, there's our bank, right there.
There's something to be said about a community bank in your hometown.
Right. If you live in the community, you should do business in the community as much as possible. So it makes sense to bank with the community bank where you live.
Fairfield Federal is the bank to be at. If you live in this town, or any town actually, you want a bank and a local home bank. And the employees are happy here. They're conversant. Customer service is through the roof. There's nothing more you could ask for.
Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. So excited because I have a fellow with me who he's been at it in his career for over 32 years now, and sad to say though that you're getting ready to retire, and I want this just to be a celebration, kind of. Maybe it's a little bittersweet for you because goodness, 32 years. I don't know. No, I think my longest at a job was 10. Maybe it was 10. Y'all, you know who I've got right here next to me. It is the City of Lancaster Police Chief, Adam Pilara, and I just want to thank you for taking the time in the last moments of you in your career. I mean, when are you planning on making it the big day of when you are exiting?
May 3rd is the actual last day that I'll be on the payroll. And I wore my uniform today and tried to get out because I'm actually down to just a few days where I don't have appointments and things where I can actually get out and do some police work again, because I did always like working the street. I liked being out there.
Yeah, so. Yeah. How many years were you out on the street?
32 years and about 8 months when I finally step out the door. So
yeah. What is it that why did you decide to become a police officer?
See, I was in the Marine Corps, and I was just because I was looking at getting out of the Marines. I was stationed in Maryland where I'd met my current wife. And, we were serious. We'd been dating for like 2 years. And she knew, well, my dad retired from the Air Force, so I knew a life in the military is a lot of life away. And part of those discussions with her, I was looking for something that had the skills to do, and they were actually recruiting Marines to be law enforcement out there. Oh. So I thought, and that's what got me thinking that, you know what, I have some of the skill set to do that. And I'm a little bit of an adrenaline junkie anyway. So I thought, maybe I'll see if I can do that. But I wanted to come home because I grew up here, graduated at LHS. So that's why I started looking around here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So you grew up here then?
Yeah, I grew up here. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm born out of state because I was, like I said, I was a military brat. So I was born out of state, but I grew up here essentially. And went to LA, went to General Sherman and LHS, with the 2 schools that,
So did you start your career right here at Lancaster?
Yeah.
I took all of it's been right here.
I left the Marine Corps on a Friday morning. I signed out from the base, and I signed into the police academy on Monday. So, because I'd take terminal leave to make the academy. So,
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, so I had everything I owned fit in a Honda CRX, and that was it. So
you knew that is what you wanted to do.
yeah, I
This is
knew
what you
at a
wanted
certain
to
point I decided I had to do something. You
Yeah.
know, so
So you started out in the academy and
Yeah.
out there just like everybody else, right from the bottom.
oh yeah. I've actually always been in the patrol. I've not done any time in the detective bureau. I wasn't in PR, which I'm not a great public speaker, so I wouldn't want to do that anyway. But I liked street work, and I was a supervisor in the Marines where I was, so I kind of thought I would probably end up being a supervisor. I'd never dreamed necessarily being the chief of police.
You
so,
didn't. Did you?
No,
Did you have the desire? Obviously, it was somewhere in there.
When the opportunity came up to test for it, and we tested in 2015, because I loved being a watch commander. I was second watch commander, and then I transferred to day shift, and that is a position where you probably have the most effect on crime in Lancaster at that, because you run all the guys on the street, and you set the tone of what we're going to address, where we're going to be. So I really liked that job.
Yeah.
And and so I had to actually talk to the wife about, do you want to be the chief's wife? It's a different step, and then there's a lot, you lose some anonymity in that. And, but it was a challenge, and she was like, yeah, go ahead and do it. So and test for it anyway. Cause it's every promotion down there is a competition.
Yeah.
And same with the firehouse. Ward competed against people every time we get promoted. So
Right. Do you mind sharing maybe some things of what maybe some of us don't get to see on the perspective of being the wife of a police officer? I love that you said you talked to her and you had that communication with her on it.
Yeah, we had that talk. So, she knew me when I was in the Marine Corps, and I was
so she was nothing. She wasn't expecting.
At that age, I might say I was in a little bit of a drunken Viking stage when we met. So she definitely makes me a lot better person than I would have been without her. And, so she knew that, but she has stories to tell. I know one night we went to a bar, and a guy who had threatened to shoot himself. Now, he wasn't supposed to have the gun in the bar, but anyway, we get into a struggle for the gun. I end up getting a big cut over my eye. This was in the early 90s. And tell you how far things have changed. So we wrestle the gun away from the guy, get the gun, we arrest him. So, and I had like 6 to 8 stitches I needed. So I'm, and I go out to the hospital, they sew me up, and I'm back on the street in like an hour and a half. And I still have like blood on my face and my shirt. So at lunchtime, I'm sneaking into the bedroom to switch, which is like 3:30 in the morning.
Oh my
so I'm
goodness.
sneaking into the. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I need a new shirt."
So she doesn't see that you have these.
Yeah,
oh my
so,
goodness.
Of course, she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I need a new shirt. I got blood on my shirt." She's like, "What?" So, yeah. So and she's been there my whole career. Essentially. So when I hit my 1 year is when we essentially like I was just off probation by a month when we got married, and she moved out here. So that year that I was a rookie, we were separated. But so she's been there the whole time. So through some real rough times, when Brett was killed. And Bartow was murdered. So I mean, she's been there through a lot of it, and definitely I will say this: family served. She served too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm like almost at a loss of words, because she probably did, I would imagine, not to speak for her, sometimes just be like, that's my guy.
Pretty much. And if you asked her, she'd be like, yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta get.
Yeah, I was in a totally separate. I was in a motorcycle wreck when we'd been married. It was '93, and she was at a school event, and of course, supervisor comes and shows up in a white shirt to get you out of a school event, and she was not happy with me that evening, but she still lets me ride a motorcycle. So
she does, yeah. But I bet she does have some worry. I would imagine. Do you think she worries more when you're on the motorcycle than what she does when you're out on duty? Maybe. Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah, experience. Sometimes that happens to us when you go through something like that. So, what is the highlight of your career, Chief Pilar?
You know what? Because when I came back here, like I said, I was a West Side kid. Blue collar family, So I had no expectation of, except that, Lancaster was kind of a blue collar town at the time. And, being able to meet all the different groups of people, like the PAL, there's a lot of people in this town that, as a kid growing up on the west side, I had no clue that there were those options out there and those groups of people, like Saunders family, the Dexters, Kiwanis, Rotary, just a lot of people trying to do good things around here that, and it's so funny because if you'd asked me in 2014 what I was going to do when I retired, I'd have said, well, I'm going to find a job where people are happy when you show up, because generally people are having a bad day.
Yeah, it really is. It is. So Lancaster POW, you're involved with them. Are you going to continue to stay? You are? Okay.
If Jamie has me, he keeps trying to get me to box, and I don't want to do that. So
I started boxing because of him. Well, I mean, not people. Yeah. Just the bag at the Y.
It's a good workout. He does good work over there. So
he taught me to breathe.
Yeah, taught you to breathe.
Yeah, you got to breathe, folks, when you're punching the punching bag. Yeah. You will pass out, if not almost have a heart attack. Some days I'm like, ooh, no. But anyways, so So what are you looking forward to for the next?
I don't know. I tend to like to be busy, so I probably will go work somewhere or do something.
Oh, you will?
Yeah, and I'll put a plug in, the city. I know the city has a lot of open positions. It's actually a great place to work. They're pretty fun people to be around. So, if you are looking for employment, look there. Yeah. So I really don't have a plan necessarily. No. Deputy Chief Shupp, who just retired in February, he always said, how long is it going to take me to not think like a cop? So that's part of it. I want to see how long it's going to take me to not to think like a cop, and then. So
that's your goal. That's your first thing to do.
Yeah, just to decompress some and not always be worried about what's happening or what the big thing is.
Breathe.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to do that. That was an accident, you guys. Just breathe. Take in life. Yeah. I love that. Thank you so much, and good luck in everything and anything that you choose to do. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. And I have a little gift for you, because this is our retirement celebration show. So you'll take some flowers home to your lovely, wonderful wife. And then I've got a little, you can drink milk out of that if you choose. But you said what you said about the Viking thing. Maybe you'll have something else.
Maybe.
Drink of choice to when you decide to sit back and breathe. You can relax and have something.
It's been an honor to work here. Like I said, I would have never thought I was going to end up here, but I made a great choice to come home and do this job.
Oh, well, you will be greatly missed.
Thank you.
And we look forward to our new chief, who's going to be stepping in there.
He's going to be good. He's going to be good.
Yes, great guy. But thank you so much. Right. Folks, don't go anywhere. We've got another chief retiring the same month. It's kind of crazy, but he'll be up in just a minute. It's Down Here with Tina.
Life is unpredictable. That's why estate planning is important. Estate planning provides you comfort and peace of mind knowing that you're taking care of your loved ones and ensuring your legacy lives on just as you envisioned. You lived a life that is beautifully and uniquely yours. You deserve an estate planning attorney who understands that and creates a plan as unique as you and in the best interest of your loved ones. You deserve the local, trusted, experienced attorneys at Dagger Law.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
It's Down Home with Tina, and we are celebrating a couple of retirements in the city of Lancaster. And I have with me Chief David Ward, who is with the City of Lancaster Fire Department. How many years has it been?
32 and a half. Yes, 32 and a half.
Why? Why did you decide to be a firefighter?
You know what? I graduated from OU. I went to Amanda, graduated from Amanda. All of my friends went to college.
I'm kidding.
I know. And all of my friends went to college, and I thought, well, I'll go to college. And so I got a degree in business, and I was in an industrial sales selling barcode systems, things like that. And I wasn't enjoying it. And so the Lancaster Fire Department, Lancaster Police Department, both advertised. I took both tests. And literally, Chief Welch in 1989 called me one day and he says, "Would you like to be a firefighter?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I would." Really had no background in it. And then the very next day, the police department called and said, "Would you like to be a police officer?" I'm like, "I'm a firefighter." And just that's how it happened.
Yeah.
If it had been flip-flopped, I would have probably been a police officer.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I just wanted to work back home. I didn't like all the travel and driving and things. And you know what? Honestly, people here are nice. And so being in sales, sometimes you have to have a thick skin. And
oh, yeah.
And yeah, it was just nice to be back. I actually said, "Lord, get me back to Lancaster and I'll be happy." And he did. And it's been almost 33 years now that I've been here.
Yeah. Would you have anything that you like to share with folks that why you are glad that you decided to be a firefighter? I guess you can't really compare it to being a police officer because you weren't, but.
Well, you know, it's a great joy to work with the guys I work with. And I love the older people, so it was nice to go on the medic runs. And it's a small enough town to where you know a lot of the patients and the people that you run on. And it's just nice to be able to help people. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we have young people coming in and interviewing. And that's what they'll say. And it sounds kind of cliche, but it's really the truth. People, you helping them when they need it. And I'm a people person, and I love people, so it's been a great job. It's not been a job. It's just been fun.
Yeah. Did you know you wanted to become fire chief?
You know, I've always had this competitive nature in me, and my mother, who's passed away, I've always been that person that, you're always competing so I knew deep down that we're civil service, we're statutory, so you have to compete. So I'm a competitive guy, and I thought, I want to try, and so I've tried, and I was blessed enough to reach every little level.
Yeah. Do you have any kind of memory that you would like to share of one of your highlights of being a firefighter? I know, long time.
I mean, we see a lot of negative stuff, people hurting and stuff. I don't know. I was here with the downtown fire, 2 downtown fires, and I was here with the anthrax scares. And I remember being on duty when the prison riots were happening on TV. Just all that stuff coming through, and then COVID. There's a whole bunch of stuff. It's just a lot of stuff.
I asked Chief Pilar about his wife and and what it was like. What's it been like do you think, in your wife's perspective of having a firefighter as a husband?
She's super supportive. I met her right after, like a month after college. She's from Sugar Grove. Mm-hmm. She retired from Lancaster City Schools, so we are tied to this community. She did 32 and a half. She loved it. I mean, she wanted whatever I wanted to do, and she knew I liked doing it. So she's been super supportive.
She ever worry and things like that, or she
not
just
really.
Always knew that as long as you were doing what you were doing and loved it, then that was what was making you happy.
If she worried about it, she never let me know. So
no, she did. Yeah, I think because I've thought of it in my own life that if I had my significant other doing and going out, how I try to sometimes put myself in their place, not their shoes, but what would it be like to have a spouse that you go out there and you don't know what is going to happen every time you clock in that day for police or fire.
And speaking of that, with the fire side of it, you put on your air pack, you put on your Nomex, you put on your bunker gear, and you know what you're up against, sort of, right? I mean, there's an element of danger, but probably just as dangerous as when we started. They were just making you wear the gloves. There was no real protocol for making you wear glasses. And the HIV and the AIDS, and I remember early on, I had just got my medic card, and it was in the summertime, and we had a bad accident, and me and this other guy who had, he's retired now, we had blood all over us, and I went back to the ER, and one of the nurses was there, and I'm like, "Can you have this person get tested? Because, look at us, we're covered."
Oh, yeah.
And so she's like, "Yes," and so my wife was expecting, and, a couple weeks went by, and I thought, "Oh, we're good." And no, it came back where this guy had AIDS. And it's like, we had it all over us. One guy had it splashed close to his eyes, and it's scary. And that's, like I told a lot of people.
And that's a different, completely thing that you wouldn't even think of, though, too. Unless you're in it.
Right.
Yes.
And back in the day when the guys didn't wear gloves, hepatitis C, a lot of firefighters contracted that because they were just hands into the blood and all this. Mm-hmm. We've practiced universal precautions, but That's an element that people really don't. They think about the firefighting side.
No, yeah, and the danger of a fire,
Yeah.
but you're
Needle
so much more.
sticks and things like that. We've all had a couple needle sticks. I've had codes where people have, when we were placing the tube, where vomit's all over my face. I was on a car accident one time when this lady was bleeding, hit a tree, had a big gash. I climbed in the car and I had a couple rookies with me, and I said, "Ma'am, keep your hands to yourself. We're going to cut this car apart from you and me, and just keep your hands to yourself." And I turned around to tell this lady, the guy, something, and she was pawing at her face, and she put and it was dripping, and it went right in my mouth.
Oh,
and I'm like,
goodness.
Oh. So that's the side of it that people really don't see, and unless you're a medic and you're out there, in the middle of a creek or a ditch or whatever, that's the stuff that people don't see.
And you guys are in the moment of saving lives.
Right.
You're not thinking
Right.
about your own because you're
Right.
just, that's what you're doing. Not that you don't,
Right.
you know what I mean?
And you can
make
practice
unsafe.
all of that safety stuff, but you couldn't see that coming.
To be there and
Right.
absolutely
And then
be
the
in it
worries
in the
of going
moment of
through
good.
your baseline HIV and your baseline in a 3 month, 6 month, a year, and then you think, okay, I'm good. Just that kind of worry. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, you're about to retire.
Yes.
What are the big plans? Not to mention that when I call you or try to reach out to you about something, you've been out of the country, and I'm like, well, come on, Chief Ward, what is going on? No. Very well-deserved vacations, I know.
It's been great. We had a great time in Ireland. We had never been to Europe. I don't know what I want to do. I know I want to still be involved with the community. I love people. I've been blessed enough that I'm still healthy enough to do something. I don't know if I want to work every day, but something involved, whether it be volunteering or helping the church. I go to Maple Street United Methodist Church, so we do a lot of outreach there. Travel, I want to see. My mom and dad never traveled, so I told Nance that her dad was a captain in the Air Force, so they did a lot of traveling. I said, I want to see the world, and I want to do stuff. We've got 4 grandkids. And I got a couple rental properties that need some work done, so we'll do something.
You have a farm, right?
We have a farm,
You're
too.
going to start just having grandkids over more often?
Right.
Or not? Are you going to say...
Our grandkids live about 2.5 hours away.
Oh,
so they're around Cambridge.
they can come for weeks.
Yeah. We can
They
get
can come for weeks, not just today.
I know. My wife would love that, and I would love it for the first half day.
It's retirement for the first half day.
Yeah. Then it's nap time. I want to take a nap.
You want to take a nap.
Yeah.
Not so much the kids. They probably have all that energy,
They
and
do.
it's just like,
and there's 6,
I love
5,
it.
3, and one that's about a month old. So, wow, there's 4 of them.
Wow, that's really cool. Well, congratulations. Anything that you would like to say to
the people here, I just really, and I do mean this. People say, "Oh, thank you for your service." No, thank the citizens of Lancaster for giving me a career of 33 years of a great career. There was not one part about that job that I did not love. Oh, there was days that you're thinking, "Oh, what am I doing?" But by and large, I've been the one that's been blessed by you guys letting me work here. Yeah. And everybody, all of my guys think the same thing. We're so lucky to have this job in Lancaster, Ohio.
Yeah.
So I love the community, and I hope that they can see that when they have interactions. If I have interactions with them, I do love it.
I loved it. Chief Pilar was like, he's got a goal of wanting to get his mind not thinking like cop. Do you ever see yourself of not thinking of what that part of the firefighting side? Because that's completely different career of that than what you guys. But do you see yourself? It's
kind of funny. I've
breathing and taking a break from it.
Well, Chief Sells, who was my boss, great boss, he said, Dave, that day after you retire, because you're really never off duty. You worry about your guys 24/7. He says that day I got off. He retired on a Friday. He got up that Saturday, and it was like the weight was gone. You don't have to worry about what's going on.
That's kind of the same then for you.
I think so. We've got great leadership coming up, so I think we're in good hands.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, you do. You got some great guys stepping into. When I found out, I was just like, I know those fellas, and that is awesome. Worked with the one day with the ride along, but I got a little gift for you.
Thank you very much.
It's a whatever milk if you want juice, or if you have another drink of choice that you would like to put into your little glass.
Orange juice will be fine.
That's fine.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate over the
Thank
years
you.
your help. You helped us greatly with the levy, and you've been a great supporter of us. So thank you very much.
I always will be, and best of luck and wishes to you in your retirement. Beautiful flowers for you to take to your lovely. So
thank you,
because she deserves it too.
Okay,
that's
she
just
does.
it.
She's a good one.
Yes, she's a sweetheart. I don't know if I just know of. I'm a Sugar Grove girl.
Yeah. Yeah, you all
No, I
know each
got
other
it.
down there.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Thank you so much, Chief
Thank you,
Ward.
Tina.
Folks, don't go anywhere. I've got my special message coming up in a minute. It's Down Home with Tina.
The Lancaster Festival returns for its 38th season, July 21st through the 30th. This year, we proudly present Rick Springfield on July 23rd and Lady A on July 30th. Reserve seating and general admission tickets are available at lancasterfestival.org, by phone at 740-687-4808, or at the box office located at 117 West Wheeling Street in Lancaster. For the full lineup, visit lancasterfestival.org.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Down Home with Tina is brought to you by these amazing sponsors. I want to thank you so much to continue to support by watching the Down Home with Tina show. And I wanted to just take the time here in my last segment of the Celebration of Retirement show, which these flower arrangements will go to the wives of the Chief of Police, Adam Pilar, and the Chief of our Fire, David Ward's, their wives, because they've spent all these years with their spouses, and I want to explain the symbolism. So when we were putting these together, I say we, my best friend used to be a florist, and as she says, well, I've got 16 roses here on this one, and the red roses, which symbol for the show of fire department, and the blue for the police officers and such for the police. So she said, I have 16 in here, and I looked at her and I go, oh my goodness, do you realize that for both, like the total of years, like each of them is 32 years, which is the amount of the two set of roses, except for I do have an additional rose I wanted to add in. And folks, the reason why I wanted to add a blue with what's going to go with the fire department, Chief of Fire, and a red with the blue to go to our Chief of Police is because together they make our community safe. They got to work together, and they work together on a regular basis. And with that being said, I also wanted to take just a couple of minutes here and say and share with you the police officer's prayer as well as the fireman's prayer. A police officer's prayer. Lord, I ask for courage, courage to face and conquer my own fear, courage to take me where others will not go. I ask for strength, strength of body to protect others, strength of spirit to lead others. I ask for dedication, dedication to my job to do it well, dedication to my community to keep it safe. Give me, Lord, concern for all those who trust in me and compassion for those who need me. And please, Lord, through it all, be at my side. Amen. And then a firefighter's prayer. When I am called to duty, God, wherever flames may rage, give me the strength to save some life, whatever be its age. Help me embrace a little child before it is too late, or save an older person from the horror of the fate. Enable me to be alert and hear the weakest shout, and quickly and efficiently to put the fire out. I want to feel my calling and to give the best in me, to guard my every neighbor and protect their property. And if according to your will I have to lose my life, please bless with your protecting hand my children and my wife. I don't think that we could have ended in any better way than that. Best of luck and best wishes to Chief of Police and Chief of Fire of Lancaster, because they've done an amazing job in keeping our community safe, and prayers to those who will step into their positions. God bless. Have a great week. It's Down Home with Tina.